Communication leads to community. That is, to understanding, intimacy, and mutual valuing. Those are words by Rollo May. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, goeiemorgen, goeiemiddag, goeienacht, wherever you're watching this from. Sanbonani, Dumelang, Absheni, Molweni, Nda, Absheni. My name is Sibusiso Joshua Mulimi. I am an entrepreneur, which means I run my own business. I'm the boss of me. I am the author of a book titled Work Through the Barriers to Success. I'm also a CEO, not a chief executive officer, but a catalyst empowering others. I am a graduate from the University of Pretoria in a Bachelor's of Commerce, Business Management, and I'll be your presenter on this topic, communication. Yeah? Welcome to this program. This is the program that's going to grow you and develop you. Challenges. You may be watching this video and you have communication challenges. And you're asking yourself, why me? When is it going to end? How do I overcome these communication challenges? Challenges are there to build us. Challenges are there to grow us. Challenges are there to be conquered. But in order to conquer these challenges, there are certain skills that you need. Trust me, this program will help you grow and develop those skills so that you can overcome the communication challenges that you are facing. Let's get learning. Communication. What comes to your mind when I say the word communication? If the color of your pants matches the color of your shirt, the color of your shirt matches the color of your shoes, young people would say something like, the combos are communicating. It's as if your pants spoke to your shirt and your shirt spoke to your shoes that today we are wearing blue. As you can see, look, my combos are not communicating. What comes to mind when I say communication? What is communication? I think it's important that we lay the foundation of what communication is. According to the Oxford Dictionary, communication is the imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other mediums. Let me repeat that so we're all on the same page. Communication is the imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, by writing, or using some other mediums. I'm communicating with you right now. Why? I'm imparting information through speaking. In this video, I'm going to speak on three things. Firstly, it's the history of communication and how it's evolved over time. Secondly, the types of communication. And thirdly, fourth industrial revolution and how it's impacted how me and you communicate. Let's start with the history of communication. The first means of communication was the voice. I'm using my voice. And then in 3200 BC, that's when writing was invented in Iraq and in Egypt, and 1500 BC in China. The way I communicated 5 years ago with my mom is not the way I communicate now. Things have changed. Communication has evolved. I remember when I was in primary school and I wanted to speak to my mom. Yes, I was mommy's boy. So what? I love my mom, right? But in order for me to communicate with my mom, what I needed to do was to buy a Telkom card. Then I needed to go to the school shop, put some money in the Telkom card, then walk to the Telkom phone booth and put my card in. Then dial the number, speak to my mom, and then I would see how much money I have left in the card. Now, all I need to do is just take out my phone, send a VN, or call her on WhatsApp. It's evolved over time. And I know you're a young person, you're in grade 10, hey, you may be the next inventor of a new way of communication in 5 years' time. I challenge you to grow and to develop this skill of communication. That's the history of communication. Secondly, the types of communication. There are 5 different types of communication. Firstly, it's the verbal communication, which I'm using right now, verbal communication. Secondly, non-verbal communication. That looks at your body language, your structure, your posture. If you're slouching, someone can say to you, you're not looking interested. You can just look at someone's face and assume that they're angry. They're communicating through their facial expression. That's non-verbal communication. That's a form of communication. Thirdly, written communication. When you're writing a letter to someone, that's communicating. If you're writing a book, writing a poem, that's written communication. There's also listening, and there's visual communication. So those are the different types of communication that you have to keep at the back of your mind. Just because someone is not saying anything, it does not mean they're not communicating. Let me repeat that. Just because someone is not saying anything, it does not mean they are not communicating. They could just be quiet, but they could just give you that face that says, I'm angry at you. That's nonverbal communication. Those are the different types of communication. Lastly, as we close it up, let's speak about the 4th Industrial Revolution and how it's impacted how me and you communicate today. The first revolution was brought up by the steam power. Then it was followed by science and mass production, and now digital revolution. Me and you can communicate with people we've never met from far away in different countries, different parts of the world. And this has been made possible by the digital revolution. It's lovely. We have all of these different social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, so many that we all use to communicate. What is important is for you to be responsible with the platform as you communicate whatever is on your heart. Let me share with you a story of a young lady who entered Miss South Africa in 2020. A few days later, a tweet was brought up that she posted 6 years ago, a racial tweet, and therefore she had to pull out. So what am I saying to you? Be careful what you share on these platforms as you communicate. Yes, it's your data or data. Yes, it's your Facebook. Yes, it's your Twitter. But once you put it out on the net, it will always be there. So be responsible with how you communicate. In conclusion, communication is broad. I've spoken about the history of communication. I've spoken about the different types of communication. I've spoken about the 4th Industrial Revolution and how it's impacted how me and you communicate. So keep those at the back of your mind. In the next video, you don't want to miss the next video. Trust me, I'm going to give you a challenge that is going to develop you and grow you. Develop your communication skills. Grow your communication skills. So you don't want to miss that one. Until then, keep learning and keep growing and keep communicating.